The bright studio lights of ITV's Lorraine glowed warmly, illuminating the stage where Lorraine Kelly prepared for one of her most anticipated interviews of the year. The audience, both in the studio and watching live on television, was buzzing with excitement. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, was set to appear and discuss his life, his memoir, and the controversies that had followed him since stepping away from royal duties. Lorraine, known for her charm but also her sharp instincts as a host, had been briefed by her producers, "Be warm, but don't shy away from the tough questions. Viewers expect honesty." As the cameras rolled, Lorraine greeted her audience with her signature cheer. "Good morning, everyone. Today we have a very special guest. He's a man who has captured headlines all over the world. Please welcome, Prince Harry." The applause was thunderous as Harry walked onto the set, dressed casually in a navy jacket and white shirt. He smiled politely but with a flicker of tension in his eyes. Lorraine extended her hand, and Harry shook it firmly before settling into his seat. "Harry," Lorraine began warmly, "it's such a pleasure to have you here with us this morning." "Thank you, Lorraine," Harry replied, his voice calm but slightly guarded. "It's good to be here." At first, the conversation flowed smoothly. They discussed his charity work, his passion for mental health advocacy, and his experiences as a father. Harry spoke lovingly about his children, Archie and Lilibet, his tone softening whenever their names came up. But Lorraine, experienced and perceptive, knew her audience wanted more than pleasantries. She leaned in slightly, lowering her voice. "Harry, you've spoken so much about stepping away from royal life, about the struggles you and Meghan faced. Some people admire your decision, but others feel you've abandoned the very institution that shaped you. Do you regret leaving the royal family?" The air in the studio shifted. The audience leaned forward, sensing the turn in tone. Harry's jaw tightened ever so slightly. "I don't regret putting my family's safety and well-being first," Harry said firmly. "Leaving was the hardest decision of my life, but it was necessary. The pressure, the intrusion, the lack of support, it was unbearable." Lorraine nodded thoughtfully, but her eyes sharpened. "But Harry, many in Britain feel hurt by your departure. Some say you've turned your back on your country while still profiting from your royal title. How do you respond to that?" Harry's expression hardened. His voice grew sharper. "That's not fair, Lorraine. I've served my country in the military, I've given years of duty. What people don't see is the toll it takes behind closed doors. My family deserves peace. If that's considered betrayal, then perhaps people need to reconsider their idea of loyalty." A murmur spread through the audience. Lorraine pressed further, sensing both the tension and the potential headlines. "And yet," she continued, "your critics argue that while you ask for privacy, you've also released documentaries, books, and interviews that reveal intimate details about the royal family. Isn't that contradictory?" Harry's face flushed slightly. "It's not contradictory, it's telling the truth. For years, the public was given only one side of the story, crafted by the institution and the press. I had to speak up. For myself, for Meghan, for my children. Silence was killing me." Lorraine paused, weighing his words. But she didn't back down. "But Harry," she said carefully, "by sharing those truths, haven't you hurt your family even more? Don't you think there could have been another way?" Harry leaned forward now, his voice tinged with frustration. "Lorraine, with all due respect, there wasn't another way. The doors were closed. The conversations were denied. When your own family refuses to protect you, what choice do you have but to protect yourself?" The studio grew still. Lorraine could feel the tension building like a storm. The producers in her earpiece whispered, "Careful, Lorraine, careful." But she ignored it. "Harry," she said, "I understand your pain. But when you accuse your family on international platforms, when you speak of racism and betrayal, you're not just protecting yourself, you're attacking the very institution that millions of people in this country love and respect. Do you realize how divisive that is?" Harry's eyes flashed. His voice rose. "Do you realize how damaging it is to be trapped in a system that refuses to acknowledge its flaws? People love the idea of the monarchy, but they don't see the cost it demands of the individuals inside it. If telling the truth divides people, then so be it. I won't apologize for speaking out." Gasps filled the studio. Lorraine sat back, visibly surprised at his sharpness. She had interviewed countless public figures, but rarely had she seen a guest so visibly agitated. "Harry," she said slowly, "this is a morning show. Our viewers want honesty, yes, but also hope. Right now, what I hear is anger. Are you still angry with your family? Harry clenched his fists on his lap. I'm angry at the system, Lorraine. I'm angry at the lies, at the betrayal, at the way Meghan was treated. My children will not grow up in that same toxic environment. I refuse to let history repeat itself. Lorraine's tone turned firmer. But in doing so, aren't you creating a new cycle of pain? Airing private matters publicly, it doesn't just free you, Harry. It wounds others. Don't you think the Queen, God rest her soul, would have wanted you to find reconciliation, not confrontation? That was the breaking point. Harry's face reddened, his composure cracking. Don't speak to me about reconciliation when you don't know what happened behind those palace walls, he snapped. His voice echoed in the studio, startling even the cameramen. With all due respect, Lorraine, you're repeating the same narratives the tabloids push. That's part of the problem. A stunned silence followed. Lorraine blinked, caught off guard. The audience shifted uncomfortably. Harry, she said softly but firmly, I won't let this turn into an attack on me or this show. If you can't have this conversation respectfully, then perhaps we should stop here. But Harry, still bristling, shook his head. I came here to speak the truth. If the truth is too uncomfortable for your program, then maybe that says more about the media than it does about me. Lorraine's smile tightened. She turned toward the camera, her professionalism barely masking her irritation. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, her voice steady, it seems our conversation with Prince Harry has taken a turn we did not expect. Out of respect for our viewers and for the integrity of this program, we're going to end the interview here. The audience gasped again. Harry looked momentarily stunned, as though he hadn't expected Lorraine to actually cut him off. But Lorraine stood, her composure ironclad. Prince Harry, thank you for your time, she said crisply. Our team will escort you out. And with that, Lorraine Kelly, live on national television, kicked Prince Harry off her show. The cameras quickly cut to a commercial break, but the damage, and the drama, was already done. When the commercial break ended, the Lorraine show returned with a visibly composed but slightly shaken host. Lorraine smiled into the camera, though her eyes betrayed the intensity of what had just unfolded. Well, she said lightly, that was certainly unexpected. We'll move on now to lighter topics. But everyone watching knew the morning show had just made history. Social media erupted within minutes. On Twitter, hashtags like hashtag Harry vs Lorraine, hashtag Royal Meltdown, and hashtag Lorraine kicks Harry out trended worldwide. Clips of the heated exchange were uploaded within seconds, spreading across platforms faster than the show's producers could manage. One clip in particular went viral. Harry's sharp words, if the truth is too uncomfortable for your program, maybe that says more about the media than it does about me. Supporters of Harry hailed him as brave for refusing to be silenced. Critics, however, accused him of arrogance and disrespect toward Lorraine, a beloved figure in British broadcasting. The palace reacts. Meanwhile, inside Buckingham Palace, the footage reached senior aides before Harry had even left the ITV studios. Phones buzzed across departments, with frantic discussions about how to respond. An unnamed palace source told The Times, it's deeply regrettable that Prince Harry has chosen to air grievances in such a combative way. The Queen valued reconciliation and dignity, values that must not be forgotten. Prince William, according to whispers in Kensington Palace, was furious. He reportedly told aides, this isn't just damaging the family, it's damaging the country. Back in California, Meghan watched the broadcast live. According to those close to her, she was torn, proud of Harry for standing his ground, but concerned about the optics of being thrown off a show. She feared the tabloids would twist the moment against them. Lorraine breaks her silence. By midday, Lorraine herself issued a statement on social media. She kept it professional but firm. This morning's interview with Prince Harry became more heated than expected. I have the utmost respect for open conversation, but I also have a responsibility to my viewers to maintain civility. I stand by my decision to end the interview early. Her post received hundreds of thousands of comments. Some praised her courage, others accused her of silencing Harry. The public divide. On the streets of London, people argued over the encounter. Outside coffee shops, in offices, on buses, everyone had an opinion. "I think Harry was right," said one young woman interviewed by the BBC. "He's finally speaking out against the media spin." Lorraine tried to box him in. But an older man disagreed sharply. He came across as entitled and rude. Lorraine treated him fairly. If he can't handle tough questions, maybe he shouldn't do interviews at all. The nation was split down the middle. Harry speaks out. Later that evening, Harry released a video message through his official media team. Sitting in a modest California office, he appeared calmer, but his words carried weight. "This morning, I had an interview that ended abruptly. I regret the tone it took, but I do not regret speaking the truth. The media has long controlled the narrative around my life. When I defend myself, it is not an attack, it is survival. To Lorraine, I mean no disrespect. But I cannot and will not allow the same cycle that hurt my mother to continue unchecked." The reference to Princess Diana sent shockwaves across media outlets. Commentators debated whether Harry was invoking sympathy or reopening wounds. Meghan's turn. The next day, Meghan Markle appeared alongside Harry in a carefully coordinated public appearance at a charity fundraiser in Los Angeles. She addressed the controversy delicately. "My husband is passionate, and sometimes passion doesn't come out perfectly. But what matters is his heart, his mission, his love for our family and for making the world better. That's the man I know." Her words softened public perception slightly, but the storm was far from over. Lorraine's show ratings soar. Ironically, the very controversy that unsettled Lorraine boosted her show's ratings to record highs. ITV announced that the episode had pulled in more viewers than any morning show segment in the past decade. Advertisers clamored for spots in upcoming episodes. Behind the scenes, Lorraine confided to her producers, "I never thought I'd be the one to cut off a prince. But sometimes, you've just got to do what's right for the viewers." The long-term fallout. In the weeks that followed, Harry's clash with Lorraine became symbolic of the broader war between the Sussexes and the British media. Analysts argued it would deepen the divide between Harry and the rest of the royal family. Others suggested it might, in time, force more honest conversations about the monarchy, the press, and accountability. But one thing was certain: the moment Prince Harry was kicked off, Lorraine would be remembered as one of the most dramatic live television interviews of the decade. As one columnist put it, it wasn't just an interview. It was a clash between royalty and reality, between truth and perception. And the world watched, spellbound.